And welcome to the HSBC Women's official press conference here at stunning Sentosa. We embark on a new era, and it gives me great delight that once again the world's best women golfers are here in Singapore to compete in what is arguably the most prestigious tournament in women's golf in Asia. Please allow me to introduce our top table all at once. We are very thrilled to have Robbie Hencher, the Senior Vice President and Global Co-Managing Director of IMG Golf. To his left is somebody who's far more attractive, and that's the world number 13, Paula Creamer, the former, I'm sorry Mike, we'll get to you in a second, the former US Open champion, affectionately known as the Pink Panther and one of the stars from the LPGA Tour. Paula, wonderful to have you here. To a very dashing, handsome man, Mike Ward, the Commissioner of the LPGA, and then the world's number one golfer, and she has been at the top of her game and the top of the rankings now for 107 weeks. The great Yanni Seng. Terrific to have Yanni here. We have Alex Hungate, the Group General Manager and CEO of HSBC Singapore. And to his left is the world number 7, a 10-time winner on the LPGA, particularly likes playing in Asia, especially after her form in the latter half of last year with 2 good wins. And to her left is Giles Morgan, the Group Head of Sponsorship and Events for HSBC. Super Giles, that you are joining us here once again this week. And last but certainly not least is our defending champion, the world number 19, Angela Stanford, who earned her 5th LPGA victory with that sensational playoff last year. So, ladies and gentlemen, our top table.
Thanks, Kate. On behalf of HSBC, welcome to the 2013 HSBC Women's Champions. This is the 6th year that we sponsored this tournament, and since first teeing off in 2008, the event has earned a reputation as one of the top golf tournaments in Asia and is affectionately known by many as Asia's major. So we're delighted with the profile and the prestige that the event has gathered since it started. And as a result of that, we recently announced the 3-year extension of the contract. And we also announced, of course, that we would move the event here to Sentosa Golf Club after 5 successful years at Tanah Country Club. The contract renewal and the move to Sentosa have both created a lot of excitement around this year's event, so we're looking forward to it very much. And in addition to our sponsorship of HSBC Women's Champions, we've enthusiastically supported a wide range of programs that bring learning opportunities to young people around the world, because we believe that sport plays an important role in the development of life skills and values in society. And that's why here in Singapore, we've also renewed our sponsorship of the HSBC Youth Golf Challenge, a program we've been supporting since 2008 in partnership with the Singapore Golf Association. The tournament reaches out to students between the ages of 12 and 17 and represents our commitment to golf outreach at the grassroots level. Now, it's great that so many of the top women golfers are in fact from Asia. And HSBC recognizes the importance of nurturing local talent. And here in Singapore, we've had a qualifier tournament, as usual. And for the 2nd year out of 3, Christabel Goh has qualified as the Singapore winner. And she'll be taking part in the tournament alongside the world's best women's golfers to experience for a 2nd time what it's like to compete against the world's best. And one of my personal wishes is that during this week, many other young Singaporean girls will get inspired to take part in golf and potentially also one day also qualify for this tournament. So HSBC Women's Champions as a sponsor provides us with a great opportunity to profile Singapore as a dynamic hub within one of the world's fastest growing regions, Asia. So this year the bank is pleased to host 3 business forums alongside this tournament. And so the first one is a women's forum, the second is women in finance specifically, and the third one is our international exchange program, which brings people from around the world, companies from around the world, into Singapore to look at setting up their companies here in Singapore, learning from HSBC what it's like to do business on the ground. So there's a lot of business activity this week around this event, as well as some world-class golf. So on behalf of everybody at HSBC, welcome to the tournament. I hope it's a fantastic and exciting experience for everybody involved.
Thank you, Kate, and a warm welcome to all of the media who've supported us over the last 6 years with this event. 2013 marks our 10th anniversary as a major international sponsor of golf, and in that time we've been involved in over 30 golf tournaments around the world and hosting over 1,000 golf days, and helped thousands of children as well in 5 major regions to get involved with the sport. It really is a truly global portfolio spanning 5 continents, and we are really proud to be associated with the game. And one of our greatest achievements in that time is spearheading the arrival of world-class golf here in Asia, both here in Singapore with the HSBC Women's Champions and with the WGC HSBC Champions, which is our flagship men's event in China. When we came to Singapore in 2008, we wanted to create a tournament which would showcase the very best in women's golf. And as we prepare for our 6th renewal of the event, it feels like we've achieved that ambition. By signing this 3-year extension to the sponsorship, it's reaffirming our commitment to the tournament and to golf in Singapore. All in all, our global portfolio is in fantastic shape. Last month we enjoyed great crowds and great golf at the Abu Dhabi HSBC Golf Championship, and this summer marks the 3rd year of our partnership with the Royal and Ancient as the world's oldest golf tournament, the Open Championship, returning to its spiritual home in Scotland. And of course, 2 years from now, golf returns to the Olympic Games in Rio, and we're investing in golf in Brazil as well, as we've done with the Middle East and Asia. In the future, these countries and markets are going to play an increasingly significant role in international trade and international golf, and Singapore is a really important component of that. HSBC Women's Champions is a glittering showcase for some of the world's best women golfers on the planet. We've got 38 of the world's top 40 on the LPGA money list with us here in Singapore. It's a wonderful achievement. And we're proud of the fact that the qualification criteria is tough. Players qualify for the event by winning a tournament on the LPGA Tour or finishing the year in the top 20 of the Rolex Women's World Golf Rankings. This means that the event has a star-studded roll call of previous winners, including Mexico's Lorena Ochoa, Carrie Webb from Australia, Aimee Zato from Japan, and American reigning champion Angela Stanford, who's of course sitting to my left. And I know for Angela and Yanni and Susanna and Paula are all looking forward to coming to Singapore because they're always welcomed here with open arms. This is one of the features that makes the HSBC Women's Champions such a special event. Thank you again for all your support, and we look forward to 3 more years here in Singapore.
Thank you, and thanks to both of you for hosting us once again. True story, but on Sunday night I was talking to my wife, which I think was Sunday morning her time, and she said, "You sound excited." And I said, "I get excited every time we start to head to Singapore," and had that same conversation with Angela this morning in the hotel. This tournament is a lot like Singapore. It's unique. There's not another one like this on our schedule. I don't think I've ever been in another city like Singapore. It's welcoming, and it shows a level of class and respect to the LPGA that I don't know if we ever say thank you enough for. But there's a bigness about this event that makes the entire thing exciting for all of us. We're looking forward to not only a new golf course, a new host hotel experience, but I think IMG and HSBC blow us away every year, and so I'm be surprised if the same isn't true this year. And just listening to Giles talk about former winners tells you about this tournament. I mean, you know, one of the 2 players that isn't here is graduating from college this week, and I know where she'd be because I saw her Sunday and said, "I'm really going to miss Singapore." I said, "You're doing the right thing, graduate, and we'll see you next year." So on behalf of all of the best players in the world, and not just the ones sitting here, but the ones that aren't, we want to say thank you for welcoming us back year after year. Thanks to HSBC for not only welcoming us, but treating these top players like the top players, and most importantly for letting 170 other countries experience this week what we're going to experience firsthand. So couldn't be happier to be back. Thanks. On the issue of USGA R&A, I've said this many times, which is there's nobody better placed to establish the right rules of the game than the R&A and the USGA. They don't have a stake in it in any other way, in equipment or players, etc. And we've been playing by their rules for a long time. I'd certainly expect the LPGA will be playing by their rules for a lot of time from now on. I respect the way they've gone about this, which is they've given us the opportunity to provide feedback in the mix. As most of you know that follow the LPGA, and looking around the room, many of you do, we don't have a large number of anchored or belly putter players. I've asked Heather Daly Donofrio, our tour head, from an operations perspective, to actually reach out to every player that we know that does use it to get their feedback. So their feedback can be involved as well. But on a personal level, this is just Mike Wan speaking. I believe in the R&A and the USGA and their role in the game to help do what's right without any stake one way or the other. I don't believe this personally. I don't believe this is going to have a major impact on the growth of the game and the enjoyment of the game or anything else. I think it's a rule change that if they make it and when they make it, we'll all adjust and move on. But I also think a long-term grandfather clause is the right way to go. I've said it to them from the beginning. We won't give them our specific feedback as a tour until I get back next week and have had a chance to get all that player feedback. But I think there's a lot of discussion right now. I for one, would be amazed if in the long term we're not all playing by the USGA and R&A rules on every tour. I could be wrong, but that would floor me if it turned out the other way around.
I think I just put too much expectation on myself. I think even people too. I mean, the fans, media. I mean, they give it lots of pressure. You know, if I don't finish top 10, I'm in trouble. It's like, what's wrong with Johnny didn't finish in top 10? But I mean, when I look back, I mean, I still have 3 wins and like 12, 13 top 10. I'm very happy. I mean, when I was in there, it was a little tough. But when you look back, I mean, I feel last year was a great and growing up year for me, and I think my game is improved and I'm getting mature and I know things what I want and I do a lot of more maturity because I think that make me feel happier and I think I just learned so much from last year and compared to lots of people I'm very lucky already, so I've been really appreciate a lot.
I think we've talked about the nomenclature of this event being Asia's major. If you look at the majors, whether it's in the women's game or the men's game, other than Augusta and perhaps the KNC, most of the majors do tend to move from time to time. We've had 5 wonderful years at Tanamera on an absolutely world-class course. But ultimately, every tournament that we're involved in globally, every tournament that has achieved great heights in terms of attracting the best players in the world, attracting incredible crowds and television coverage, ends up needing some sort of change at some point in time. And we felt that after 5 great years at Tanamera, a move to Sentosa, and here we are today at a phenomenal facility, phenomenal golf course with fantastic management, was probably the right thing to do for the event.
Thanks, Juquen. I think Singapore, as a financial hub, has gone from strength to strength. Even during the financial crisis, you see a lot of the wealth management initiatives the government has taken here have been very successful. And so as a wealth management hub, and as a trade hub with the so-called South-South trade, in other words, between emerging market to emerging market, you see Singapore taking on a very important role as well. Since HSBC is fundamentally a trade bank and was founded as a trade bank with approximately 9% of market share globally, that means that Singapore has become increasingly important over these last few years. In addition, you see a lot of investor interest in the ASEAN region. So while we're very strong in Greater China, in particular with our strong position in Hong Kong, Singapore and ASEAN has become increasingly important over this period as well. So from a business perspective, Singapore as a financial hub has become more important. From a host perspective, I think Singapore has really been a great host for us. The government, the Ministry of Trade, the Singapore Tourist Board have all been very supportive of this tournament over the last 5 years and have reinforced that support in terms of our renewal over the next 3 years as well. So we couldn't say anything lacking, in either from a business perspective or from a support from the host city.